Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk about grind spots, and for new players coming in with the Olvia Academy starting today or tomorrow whenever you see this, is grind spots for beginners under 300 AP. I know that's kind of a wide range, and I wanted to talk about some spots because they're going to be giving away free pen black stars plus all the rewards that we currently have. So the catch-up mechanics are going to be pretty good, and I think getting 300 AP these days is a lot easier than it was before. So with that said, the way we're going to do this is going down the Monster Zone info and talking about what Pearl Abyss or the game recommends, and we're going to be going down the optimal AP, so like lowest to highest up to 300. And if you guys like it, well, maybe we'll do a part 2 of like 300 to like 395 or whatever the cap is these days. So with that said, yeah, whether you're a returning player, a veteran player, or just a new player, hopefully this helps you guys out. And I'm going to talk about it from my experience, plus, looking at data like Garmoth and everything as well. So, with that said, if you are a new player, getting roughly 200-ish AP should be pretty easy just by playing the game, getting Tuvala gear, and I think your gear should look something like this with well, obviously if you had weapons that'd be like roughly another around like 250 if you put on your weapons and everything. So 250, 330 DP, that's when you have full Tuvala gear, so that's your breakpoint for seasons. All right, so with that said, we're going to start at around 140-ish AP, because all of these things, all these grind spots are a little bit outdated. You're going there for specific things in particular, but it's not necessarily good for silver itself. All right, so as a new player, Polly's Force is a spot that I'd recommend for a lot of new players. It helps you get levels all the way up to like 60, 61 these days, helps you finish season pretty quickly. And this is a good spot early on because it gives you a bunch of Capra stones as well as all the Atanus elements if you're going for your infinite potions early on. And of course, it's just a decent spot for silver early on as well. So Polly's Forest, very solid down in Kama Sylvia, and you guys can see my seasonal videos. This is how I would do it if I was a new player starting over once again. All right, next spot that I would recommend for new players is down in the 180 spot for Bloodwolf Settlement. Now this spot is good because it is also an infinite potion spot piece, but also it gives a lot of items that are worth a decent amount of silver, plus Capra stones and all the other things that are here. But the notable item, aside from infinite potion piece, is the Cagdanak, and you could turn this into an endgame crystal that a lot of other people use. So like one of the crystals I have here, I'll show you, is the Dark Red Fang Valor crystal. And this is an expensive one because it's a crystal that people use from the mid all the way to end game. And so even people like me are still using these crystals, and as well as an armor one if you want to use it for defensive as well. So these are like roughly 500 mil if you were to buy it. So if you get one for free, that's 500 mil. Pretty nice, actually. All right, so let me see, where were we? Aside from that, you're going for the orange eyeball, the purple one, infinite potion piece. You also, if you care about it in the future, you might as well do it like on a season character, the Marnie research box. It's just like an end game thing that people go for extra titles and everything. But aside from that, trash loot, not too bad around here. I would say a little under 1 billion silver an hour, I guess, assuming you don't get one, but if you do, that's just a bonus. Accessories drop at a pretty solid rate here. Cagdanak, the blue ones, drop higher than the Eye of the Ruins, even though they aren't as good as they used to be. I have never seen a Mono's Close drop from here in like the hundreds of hours I was back in the day going for my infinite potion, but you do get a bunch of everything else, which makes this spot overall solid. Centaurs. Now, this used to be the go-to spot back in the day when, people were actually around 180. And the reason why this spot is good is because Agris was making the trash loot like multiplied significantly higher than others. And over the years, they made Agris kind of equalized to the point where, I mean, this spot is still good, but it's a little bit, you know, dated because people get so much free gear these days to the point where they're way past 180 early on. But if you're at that point and you're a new player, you're just grinding slowly at your own pace, and you're actually at this spot, I think this one is very solid. So you do have to use Agris in this spot, but it is pretty solid for silver. Mirrormock Ruins. So they actually added a Dekia version for this one, but that's like an endgame spot. The early one for Mirrormock it's a very good spot for combat XP, and these days you could, I know it says party of 2 or 3, but you can realistically solo it. So I think if you're going for XP, it's good. The silver is around, you know, probably 5 to 600 mil an hour, but you're getting also the Tannis element. You're getting a bunch of everything else that comes with it. So decent one. I'd recommend, you know, doing this one in a group if you can, but it is soloable. Next spot I would recommend is actually, so these two, Forest or Naros is not that bad. I know it's, you know, specifically for Infinite Potion piece, the pity piece over here, and this one, the full one. But it's not that bad. It's around 500-600 mil for the spot alone at 190, so it's multi-purpose spot as well, and it's very chill. You probably won't find other people there, so you can just grind in peace, realistically. Okay, so next spot I want to talk about is, where is it? Oh yeah, Shuriken Day is also a good one for the health potion. Trash loot is also amplified pretty highly, kind of like Centaurs with Agris, so it's pretty solid as well. Next one, going into the 200-ish, 220 to 240 AP spots, the Elvia Serendia spots. Now this one actually is pretty solid, and also now it's good because the shards can be sold on the market, and I'll show you how you can do that. If you grind certain spots, you get the void tainted things, and you can get these. This is more for endgame, but you can get them now, and they're sellable on the market. So let me show you. Where is... Okay, so Altar Imps. How is the money made from these spots? Now, you're going to be grinding this out, and it's kind of like a spot you kind of have to lock into, because your goal is to get all the shards and then combine it into the accessory cup and then sell that cup. So it averages about like 1 to 1.5 billion silver an hour, but it's after like 30-ish hours of grinding. And so if you like the spot in general, then you're just gonna have to grind out all these and then figure out which cups are the ones that sell for the most, and then sell them. So if you don't know, let me show it to you. So you see all these things right here? These are the ones you want to turn them into. So like you grind all this Elvia spots, right? And then you combine it into the cup, and then you sell it. Obviously, you sell the one that's the most valuable, and then that's where the profit comes in. So let's talk about the rest of them. Altar Imps, for the blue one, it's a very solid spot. All the other trash loot, like the Seed of the Void and the Tides, you just vendor them or sell them to the NPC. Same with trash loot. And so trash here is about like 600 to 800 mil an hour. Plus you get all this, and if you're consistently grinding, these are also sellable. Sealed Black Magic Crystal Shards, we are currently in a time where every endgame player needs them, and mid-game player, so it's just really helpful. Brigati Den, this is probably the highest spot for the yellow shards you can get. I don't have a lot of hours into this one, even back in the day, just because I was a little over the cap, but I heard through other people as well that if you're specifically going for the yellow shards, this is the best spot to be at for it. So that's about it. Other than that, these lunar necklaces, they're not super common, but I mean, all these things are kind of irrelevant. Let's see. Histria. I actually have grinded out this spot. Probably this is the #1 spot I have the most hours in ever since back in the day when I was going for the compass. The Elton piece, we all know, is a huge like pain to get. You either get super lucky or you tank like literally hundreds of hours into here. So without Agris, you're making about like 600 mil an hour plus any other accessories. That's from Trash Loot alone. With Agris, it could be up to like 1.3 billion an hour these days. But ultimately, you're here for the compass parts, and hopefully you get the Elton and not like 12 Vodkins, and that's about it. Kratuga. This is a decent spot for new players because you're going for the beginner early game artifacts, and you may be like, oh, what if I want something in particular? So like, for example, let me find a spot where it has exclusive ones. So let's say you're going for magic AP, right? This one right here, and it's at Shuriken. Now, it may seem like a better idea because it's like, oh, the pool to get them is lower. But in reality, a lot of grind spots that only drop specific ones, you get them like once every 1 to 2, maybe 2 to 3 hours. And then it's like you don't even know if you're getting the right one. However, here, even though the pool is a lot higher, you're getting them every like 10 minutes or something, 10-15 minutes. So by averages, chances are you'll be able to get the one you want in a shorter amount of time. That's from my experience. And yeah, this spot's pretty chill. The only bad thing is getting to the spot. I'll show you how to do that. It is down here by the Hazara Cliff. You go into the cave, and then there's like a hidden door where you have to use the slate thingy or be a sage or have a sage tagged, and then it'll just take you into this Kratuga spot. There's a lot of videos. You guys can do it. It's not really a secret. It's just like if you're a new player and you've never seen it before, then it's kind of easy to miss. The swamp Nagas and Fogans. These are also pretty solid. Probably a little under $1 billion an hour, but you're also, once again, going for the spots where you're getting the shards and then all the other things on the side. Star's End is getting buffed tomorrow, so this spot is completely irrelevant. This spot's going to be a super endgame one, so we just don't talk about that one anymore. It's not even good to grind like at its current state in the endgame, like 395 update tomorrow. It's going to be pretty good, I assume. Sakraya Underwater. This one is getting changed as well in the near future. So if you're gonna grind here until then, Tongrad rings aren't too bad, but if you're good, the Rich Merchant ring comes from the upper. Like you can get it in underwater or abyssal, but the rate is lower to the point where it's not really. You're better off going for the ring piece in upper, and then everything else is solid. But it's getting changed, so if you're watching this video a year from now and you're like, wait, this number is different, that's why. Okay, so let's see. Other spots that I think are solid. Gyfin just got an update for Dekia. The regular non-Dekia version, maybe not the greatest. Padex is about like $1 billion an hour. You would be surprised. I put like about 150 hours into Padex going for the Rich Merchant ring piece. And you would be surprised at how often Ethereal Earrings and Ocean Haze rings drop, to the point where I actually think the spot is good because these accessories have gone up in price. And, you know, you're also going for the Rich Merchant ring. You get a lot of Black Spirit Claws, and the trash rate is solid. So this is like low-key good, but the only bad thing is it is out in the middle of here. I have a video talking about all that, like how to get there efficiently as well. So you do need a unicorn to get here, or a boat, which is the only annoying part for new players, but this spot is like actually kind of good now with accessory prices. All right, let's see what's next. Bloody Monastery. This spot's pretty fun, actually. It's about 1 to 1.5 billion silver an hour. It also depends on how many bells you get. So all these things you vendor, and then you can collect the yellow shards. So what these bells do is kind of like while you're grinding the normal rotation, right? You get the bells, you can stack them, and then you just kind of like pop them, and waves of enemies spawn in for like, what, 15 minutes or something. And then You just kill them, get extra trash loot. It piles up. It's kind of fun. See how fast you can clear things. So yeah, one of those decent spots. It's not as many yellow shards as the other ones, but the silver an hour is pretty solid. All right, next, 260, Elvia or Camp. This spot is a very consistent spot for silver. And the only bad thing is there's no like treasure items worth going for. But there are, like, the silver itself is all through things you vendor to the NPC. So like you're getting consistent silver, but there's no special items worth like going for. But overall, best spot for the red shards, and everyone grinds Elvia Oryx these days, or I guess mid-game players. That's why it's lower than the others, but the trash loot from everything else goes straight to the vendor, and it's very consistent. So yeah, good spot. Going into 270, Honglim Base. This is a very solid spot because it's like the entry level landed a morning light spot that gives starts giving you crystals. And so whether you're a new player or not, I think these are pretty solid. And yeah, I would recommend starting to collect these early on because you will probably need them. Red ones, if you aren't at the point of exchanging Karazods for your Debarekas for Karazods, then you might want to start getting these early. And then the rest of these are if you are literally a PvPer like the rest of them. Black Spirit Rage, literally an endgame one. But yeah, these are, whether you use them or not, pretty decent amount of silver. Everyone will need the Essence of Dawn. You melt these down for them, and it's good to go. Let's see. Jade Starlight Forest. I think this one is low-key good as well. Even if the price of flames aren't what they used to be at 10 bill each, the amount of iridescent lightstones people get here is actually higher than, you know, your average, to the point where even if you're grinding for a decent amount of silver, plus with Agris makes it really good, if you hit the iridescent lightstone once every couple hours, that's a free like 2 bill after taxes or something like that, a little bit over 2 bill, and it's just really good. So it's kind of one of those things that it used to be good when people were getting the embers at max price, but it's still good because iridescents are like at an all-time high right now. So just keep that in mind. That's what you're going for. If you're going for Labreska, the helmet, the Fallen God one, then this is a good spot. You can buy these off the market, which, you know, it is what it is, but iridescents are good. Getting close to 300 with Primal Giants. This one is a little bit like fast pace, and one thing that I will say is if you're grinding here, I'd recommend turning your sound off, because there's a lot of things that are just like you're hearing a lot of different noises and it gets annoying. But overall, it's a pretty solid spot, around like 1.2 billion an hour. Overall, pretty solid. You're here for Crystallized with Bears. You get a bunch of Capra stones, and if you hit the jackpot of the Blessed Soul Fragment, that's a nice 5 bill. So yeah, overall, pretty solid. Going into 290, Olins. So Olins is an endgame spot, and people grind here exclusively for the Rich Merchant Ring. It is a group spot, so that involves you finding people who want to do that, which I just recommend finding a guild or that also likes PvEing and will help you. Otherwise, the party finder in this game will do it. Sometimes you can see it. Let's see. Let me look at it. Find party platoon. Yeah, sometimes people do like regular Olins and everything with group Olins. So if you want to find a group for that, I would recommend that's what you do. Okay, so let's see. Gyfin Underground. So this is the best spot for XP for people under like 350 AP, and I would still even then put it in like the top 3. The spot for silver, it's a little bit less than before because accessories kind of tanked over time, but if you're going here for XP, the silver is not the worst, but for the AP level, just know that you're going in for the XP more than the silver. All right, so 300 AP spots. Sulfur Mine, roughly about 1 bill an hour for 300 AP. It's kind of low, but you're going here for the Archaeologist map, which is a treasure item in the game, And then if you get debos on the side, that boosts your silver. But base from trash loot is about 1 billion, which doesn't sound like a lot for the gear, because it's not, but you're going there for other reasons. PLQ is worse. That one is about 700 mil an hour. I have a couple of videos on that one, same with Sulfur and all the other ones. But once again, another 2 pieces of the Archaeologist map here, plus debos. And yeah, not that good. So if you are 300 and you're looking for something, I would recommend Dekia Histria compared to the other one, because it's a lot easier. Things kind of group up a little bit better. So instead of doing a circle rotation, you're doing like a tower spot for the Elton piece instead. So I would say this one is about 1.5 to 1.7 bill. Also depends on how many accessories you get. And it's Dekia History is a lot more chill than, you know, like the other ones, to be honest. So Ackman, not that great. Elvia Hex. One is kind of good, actually. This spot has been tweaked multiple times. It's been buffed. It's been nerfed. It's been bugged before. And so you're probably getting a consistent like 2 bill an hour. A lot of the silver does come from crystallized despairs, but also depending on how fast you clear, you do get a bunch of sealed black magic shards and everything. So it's kind of fun just to see how fast you can clear, and helps you improve compared to tower spots, where it's very limited by spawn rate. So if you want to just test your build and see how much trash loot, this one is one of those scaling ones where faster classes will do better than others. So yeah, I'd recommend it. Elvia Hex has always been pretty consistently good. Crypto resting thoughts. There's a lot of spots that give Debo belts these days. I don't think it's bad, but if you're going for the merchant ring, it's probably about like 1 bill an hour, and you're gonna have to be here for it anyway if you want it. But I don't think this one's bad. It's a little bit just kind of out of the way. And the good news is the merchant ring piece that drops here is like one every like 20-ish hours, maybe less. So compared to the others, that's pretty good. So anyway, another, if you're going for the Orzekia, what is it? Orzeka, the costume, yeah, you can get them both here too. So silver, decent, but multi-purpose spot. Ash Forest. I feel like if you're at 300 these days, you could probably do Dekia 1 or 2 and still be comfortable here, and it'll be fine. But ultimately, Dekia, or if you can do Ash, I'd recommend doing 1 or 2 if you can first. And yeah, everything else is 310 and up. Maybe we'll do a part 2 in the future. But those are my recommended spots for everything over here. And so whether you're a new player or not, returning player, hopefully it helps you. And with that said, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. On the screen, we have 2 different codes, like right here and there. We have a birthday code for anyone on PC, NA, and EU. You can use that birthday code and get a bunch of rewards. It's pretty cool. So it's just like something that partners get. So that one expires on the 27th, I believe. So if you're watching this from the 22nd of January to 27, you can use that. Good luck on your enhancing and free rewards. And the bottom code right there is if you are planning on buying any pearls or getting the game package upgrade or anything, and you use my code, I get a small portion of that as well. Always appreciated. But yeah, with that said, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I got a bunch of videos coming out in the near future. I'll always be updating these videos as, you know, the game updates over time. So hopefully it helps you guys. And if you have any questions, happy to point you guys in the right direction. You can leave a comment or you can join the Discord. If you need gear help and everything, Discord is the best way because you can post a screenshot and I'll just look at it and tell you what to do. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.